Do you believe that nighttime trips to the bathroom, poor sleep, and daytime fatigue are inevitable companions of aging? What if the real culprit lies in your nightly habits that you carry out without thinking? My name is Dr. Elias Namura. For 40 years, I have worked in men's health, and over the next few minutes, I ask you to listen carefully because what I'm going to tell you can radically change the way you understand sleep, the prostate, and your own well being. The truth I want to reveal may be uncomfortable, but must be heard. Most men with an enlarged prostate are in fact making their health worse every day without realizing it. The problem is not the absence of medicine or lack of willpower, but the small, seemingly harmless habits that pile up before bedtime and, like a quiet fire, inflame the prostate, put pressure on the bladder, disrupt sleep, and day after day drain your strength. Fortunately, this can be fixed. And it all starts with recognizing the 7 most common nighttime mistakes that most men over 60 still make. Today, I will go through each of these causes in detail, giving you clear, practical, and science-based explanations. Some may surprise you, and the last one, the most dangerous, is hardly discussed, yet it may be the main reason for your sleep problems and constant daytime fatigue. If you feel this topic speaks to you, leave a comment. I'm in this fight. That way I'll know I'm speaking to men who care about their health and are striving to improve their situation. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. Drinking a lot of water before bed. A common practice that quietly puts pressure on your prostate. You've surely heard it's important to drink plenty of water, and that's true, but what no one talks about is that the time you drink can be just as important as the amount. As night approaches, your body naturally slows fluid elimination. It shifts into rest mode. But if after dinner you keep drinking tea, warm water, juice, or even down a full glass with your evening pills, you unknowingly force your bladder to work precisely when it should be resting. And if your prostate is already enlarged, as it is in most men after 60, this fluid buildup puts even more pressure on the area, making you wake up once, twice, even 3 times a night to urinate. The worst part isn't just losing sleep. Every time deep sleep is interrupted, your body stops producing the hormones that reduce inflammation and restore tissues, including the prostate. In other words, repeated nighttime awakenings to urinate prevent your body from repairing itself, and this vicious cycle leaves you more tired, inflamed, and down. Many of my patients told me, "Doctor, I thought a cup of herbal tea before bed helped me fall asleep." They didn't know that tea turns into a biological alarm clock in the middle of the night. The solution is not to drink less water, but to adjust timing. Drink plenty during the day, but sharply reduce intake after 6 p.m. And if possible, avoid any beverages for 2 hours before bedtime. If you need to take medication at night, talk to your doctor. It may be possible to change the timing or take it with less water. When your bladder rests peacefully, the prostate relaxes, inflammation subsides, and you begin to regain the deep sleep your body needs. If this explanation was helpful, write in the comments, "Now I get it." That will tell me you care about your health and are walking this path with me. Mistake number 2, lying down for a long time and watching TV, a habit that seems relaxing but undermines your prostate health. It may feel like you're just resting, but that moment when you lie back with the remote and stare at the screen for hours is one of the most harmful habits for pelvic circulation. Few men know this, but the truth is simple. When you stay in the same position for a long time, especially lying on your back, blood flow to the lower abdomen, where the prostate is, decreases. Less circulation means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching prostate tissue. That slows the reduction of inflammation, disrupts cellular regeneration, and keeps the prostate tense and irritated. There's another complication. The blue light emitted by the TV lowers production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep sleep. Without melatonin, you might fall asleep, but the body doesn't enter the deep sleep phases where the reproductive system is restored. This isn't just theory. In more than 40 years of practice with men suffering from nighttime urinary issues, almost all admitted they watched TV up to the very last moment before bed. They didn't realize they were depriving the prostate every night of the chance to rest, reduce inflammation, and recover. The good news is you can change this habit without suffering. Set a specific time after which you turn off all screens, ideally at least 30 minutes before bed. In that window, choose an activity that signals the brain it's time to rest. Light reading, gentle stretches, or deep breathing with eyes closed. These actions not only lower mental activity, but also activate circulation in the lower abdomen, preparing the prostate for true recovery. Think of it this way. Every hour spent without TV before sleep is an extra hour of restoring your intimate health. Mistake number 3, going to bed constipated, silent pressure on the prostate that most ignore. Many men think that if there was no bowel movement today, it's no big deal. The intestines will handle it tomorrow. But for those over 60, going to bed constipated is more dangerous than it seems. When the intestines are full, the mass of stool presses on the entire lower abdomen, where the bladder and prostate are located. This constant pressure, even if you feel no pain, triggers urinary urges, squeezes the bladder, and further irritates the prostate at night. That sets off a vicious circle. Even with a small volume of urine, you feel as if the bladder is full, making you get up several times a night, unable to empty completely and with a persistent sense of discomfort. Another rarely discussed fact: constipation reduces pelvic blood flow, impairs oxygen delivery to the prostate, and lowers its capacity to heal. The result is more inflammation, more discomfort, and less rest for an already vulnerable organ. To solve this, start by adjusting your diet. Increase intake of leafy greens, fiber-rich fruits like prunes and kiwi, and whole grains. Drink water throughout the day, though not at night, and take a 15-minute walk after dinner. This stimulates peristalsis and helps the body eliminate waste before sleep. If, even after dietary changes, the intestines remain sluggish, it makes sense to discuss fiber supplements or magnesium with your doctor. They can help normalize bowel function and prevent nighttime buildup. Going to bed with a clear bowel reduces bloating, lessens pressure on the prostate, and prepares the body for uninterrupted, restorative sleep. Mistake number 4, skipping a bathroom trip before bed. A simple habit that can turn into a whole night of discomfort. Many men think, I don't feel much urge now, I'll go in the morning. But that small decision to delay can have a huge impact on your prostate and your sleep. Even when you feel empty, a small amount of urine always remains in the urinary tract. A night spent with this residual volume turns a seemingly harmless phenomenon into constant pressure on the bladder and prostate. That pressure persists all night, causing local irritation, provoking frequent urges at inconvenient times, and contributing to chronic inflammation. The result is fragmented sleep and a prostate that never fully rests. Prolonged urine retention can also increase the risk of urinary infections, because stagnant urine creates a favorable medium for bacteria. In men with an enlarged prostate, this risk is even higher, and the clinical picture often progresses. A common problem in men over 60 is the sensation of incomplete bladder emptying. The more urine that builds up before bed, the greater the likelihood of waking with urgency, burning, or discomfort in the lower abdomen. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Make it a habit. Urinating before bed should be a permanent part of your evening routine. Even if you think you don't need to, sit for a few minutes, relax, and take several deep breaths. That moment helps the bladder empty as much as possible and lowers internal pressure before sleep. An empty bladder means less prostate irritation, giving your body the chance to enter deep restorative phases overnight. However, the 5th common mistake is eating salty foods before bed. This hidden enemy provokes prostate inflammation during sleep. A handful of chips, salty crackers, or a slice of cured meat before bed may seem harmless, but many don't realize these foods are loaded with sodium. In this context, salt is one of the main enemies of the male genitourinary system. Excess salt makes the body retain more fluid, raising pressure on the bladder and prostate area. This internal bloating triggers frequent urges to urinate, especially at night when the excretory system is more sensitive and the body needs rest. Diets high in sodium also worsen circulation, especially in peripheral areas like the pelvis. Without sufficient oxygen and nutrient-rich blood flow, the prostate can't recover from daily microinflammation. That leads to heightened inflammation, tension, and, consequently, more pronounced nighttime discomfort. Note another factor. Salt indirectly affects blood pressure, and in men with hypertension, pelvic circulation already struggles, exacerbating prostate symptoms. The problem is many men consume salt without realizing it. A dinner stock cube, a packaged soup, an industrial sandwich, all can contain large amounts of hidden sodium. The best strategy isn't to eliminate evening snacks entirely, but to replace them with healthier options. Choose low-salt foods with anti-inflammatory properties, such as pumpkin seeds, a ripe banana, or a tablespoon of plain yogurt without sugar. It's also important to build a habit of reading labels carefully. Even in seemingly light products, excess salt can be hidden. Limiting sodium is one of the most effective yet often forgotten ways to help the prostate recover. The effect won't be instant, but the consistency of daily actions brings the desired results. Mistake number 6, sleeping on your stomach, an unconscious position that can harm the prostate every night. While sleep position may seem trivial, it has a significant impact on prostate health. Men who sleep on their stomachs with the abdomen pressed to the mattress unintentionally create constant pressure on the bladder, prostate, and pelvic vessels. This pressure compresses tissues, restricts blood supply, and hinders oxygen delivery to the prostate, undermining its ability to regenerate. Even during rest, the prostate remains in a state of tension. This position can also cause a number of negative consequences. Misalignment in the lumbar spine, tension in the pelvic and pelvic floor muscles, increased urinary urges, and a sensation of incomplete emptying. Over time, the accumulation of these factors leads to fragmented sleep, irregular urination, constant lower abdominal pressure, and other symptoms often mistakenly attributed to natural aging. In reality, they're a direct result of poor sleep posture. The fix is simple and effective. Change your sleep position. Side sleeping, especially on the left, improves abdominal circulation and reduces load on the bladder and prostate. A pillow placed between the knees supports proper pelvic alignment and lowers tension in the lower body. If you tend to roll onto your stomach at night, place a pillow as a bolster at your side or behind your back to prevent this movement and help your body maintain a side position throughout the night. Sleep is the key moment for the body's daily recovery, and its effectiveness directly depends on how free from tension and discomfort all organs are, including the prostate. Yet sleeping in a state of stress is a serious mistake that harms not only the prostate, but sleep and overall health. This invisible enemy undermines your well-being. It's often ignored, but has the most destructive impact of all pre-bed habits. Before sleep, with your head full of thoughts about tomorrow, your loved one's health, and time that relentlessly passes, you slip into a quiet but dangerous chemical reaction. This state, known as activation of the sympathetic nervous system, triggers the fight or flight mode. In this mode, the body produces cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol, in turn, prevents deep sleep, increases inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Constant tension, even during sleep, disrupts hormonal balance, particularly testosterone levels. Your body is effectively stressed even while you lie in bed. The bladder becomes more sensitive. The prostate cannot fully relax. Sleep never becomes deep, and recovery slows. Over time, this chronic nighttime stress weakens the body's defenses, disrupts metabolism, and keeps the prostate in a constantly irritated state. The most dangerous part is that all this happens unnoticed every night without obvious signs. But this cycle can be broken. You don't have to eliminate stress from life. That's impossible. But it is realistic and entirely achievable to end the day with a ritual of slowing down. Simple things like 3 minutes of deep breathing with eyes closed, listening to calm music, writing 2 or 3 thoughts on paper to unload your mind, gentle stretching with body awareness. Such a ritual signals the nervous system. Now it's time to rest, everything is under control, and then the body begins to switch off. In the night's quiet, the prostate finally gets ideal internal conditions to calm down, reduce inflammation, and recover. In conclusion, caring for the prostate is not only a matter of the genitourinary system. It is about preserving quality of life, sleep, and your own dignity. The 7 mistakes you learned about today may seem small, but together they can deprive you of the most important things: rest, energy, and control over your own body. Changing these habits is simple, and it can completely transform your nights and days. If this video helped you in any way, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel to receive more materials on men's health after 60. And write in the comments, "I want to sleep peacefully and live better." That phrase is the starting point of your turnaround. See you in the next video. Wishing you robust health, and see you soon.